What's up, guys? It is Jonathan with One Big Impact. So, today I want to talk about something, well, basically two things that kind of run side by side. Building muscle, of course, because a lot of people ask me, is that too bright? That's way too bright. I'm not feeling that. A lot of people ask me all the time, and I'm going to keep talking while I fix my window. I tried to open my window earlier and the curtain's up. So one side of my face messing up. A lot of people, especially not limited to, but especially low carbers, including myself and different people, will come to me with the question of, "Hey, Jonathan, I wanna lose weight, but I also want to build muscle. How do I do that? How do I go about doing both?" Well, my first question to that would be, are you talking like tandemly? Are you trying to build muscle and lose weight at the same time? So, because if you are, you can't, okay? And that's the easy answer. Now, obviously, that's not entirely true. Most people will come to me because low carbers are different than bodybuilders. Obviously, bodybuilders are focused on one thing, putting on as much size as possible and then shredding down as much fat as possible. Low carbers are usually focused on losing as much weight as possible and then, afterwards toning up, they say. This is not everybody, but you've probably caught yourself saying some of the same things, and there's nothing wrong with that. By the way, I'm having a protein shake. And I use almond milk in my protein shakes because I used to be a milk addict. And almond milk is actually pretty damn good. So, I'm kind of out of it today. Sorry, it's been kind of rough with my son. If you're trying to lose weight, it's kind of like you're burning a rope at both ends and you're standing in the middle trying to figure out what's going on. That's a shitty analogy. Let's think of a better analogy. You're trying to go on vacation while getting paid. Now, you're probably like, well, some people work from remotely, blah, 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 blah. Jonathan, don't you say you work remotely and you make money remotely? Yes. But what I'm saying is, like being clocked in at work while being on a beach somewhere. Like, if, say, you are a bricks and mortar company, say you work at Walmart or something, and you are trying to simultaneously clock in at Walmart while you're on a beach. You can't do that. It's two totally different things, two totally different aspects. You see a lot of people go through these bulking and cutting phases, and you see a lot of people now they're like, they're not necessarily called bulking and cutting. It's more of like a recomposition phase in which people will do like carb cycling and go high carb, low carb. And you can put on sides like that too. But here's the thing, if you're in a caloric deficit and you are taking the macros of, say, Atkins or keto or just a low carb approach, chances are your fat's high, your protein's lower than it needs to be for muscle building purposes. I'm not saying you can't put on muscle because you can, and I have clients that are. Um, but it's kind of like pick one or the other, if that makes sense. caloric surplus, protein really high, or low carb. And it's so funny because you'll talk to like bodybuilders and different like nutritionists and dietitians and stuff like that, and they'll all be against Atkins or low carb or keto or whatever. And it's starting to get more popular and gain a little bit more momentum now. But usually speaking, like one person's either for carbs or not for carbs. I'm kind of like all over the place. Like it depends on what we're doing. Like if you're trying to put on sass, if you're trying to put on some sass, I'm just kidding. Shut up. No, if you're trying to put on size, probably some extra carbs to fuel your big workouts and stuff like that, because you're putting on mass, you're trying to put on size, trying to fill up them muscle bellies full of like glycogen and everything and make it through some intense ass workouts, as well as quite a bit of protein. If you are not worried about that and you're literally just trying to diet down, it's funny because if you say somebody's against, say somebody's against like keto, Atkins, blah 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 blah, and say they're a bodybuilder or whatever, and you mention that to them, they will be totally against that. But it's also funny because if you ever look at how a bodybuilder leans out, the first thing they start chipping away at is their carbohydrates, and they get them probably pretty damn close to keto or Atkins anyway. So it's like, what the hell is the point of that? You have to understand that you really have to have like a main focus. And somebody told me today that I said, well, I want to be really good on all aspects of exercise and stuff like that. I want to be, know all kind of avenues, not necessarily like a pro at one thing necessarily, but I want to be able to just cover all the realms. You know what I mean? So, but, and they said, oh, you can't do that. You got to pick one specific thing or whatever. You know what? That's not my thing. Like my thing is, hey, I want to get pretty good at everything. You know what I mean? Like, because, and then if you want a specialty thing, like a single specialty thing, sure, go into it. Tell me. We'll dive into it more. But general health, weight loss, putting on size, muscle, they're not rocket science, but in the same sense, pick your poison. Figure out what that you're wanting to do with what you're doing. If you're trying to put on size or put on muscle, you need the proper amount of protein to be able to fuel your protein synthesis. 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're going to be on a low carb meal plan, probably not going to be enough protein. I mean, and that's debatable too. But I will say, if you're trying to get bigger muscles, you have to eat a bigger amount of food. That's kind of just a well-known thing. You need to be in a caloric surplus. Therefore, counteracting or being counterproductive to be able to lose weight. So it's kind of like pick one or the other. And you could even try something like a recomposition if you're trying to put on size. And I'm only saying this because the people that follow me are low carb, but they also are asking about putting on muscle and stuff like that. So I would say focus, especially if you're a weight loss client, focus on a very slight caloric surplus. Don't go super crazy. Get your protein up. If you're 150 pounds, 150 grams of protein. And if you don't know what the hell that means, because I didn't for a long time, and it's so frustrating trying to figure out what the hell macros are. I'm going to do a video pretty soon on macros and kind of try to break it down a little bit easier for people. But I'm learning some new stuff about macros every day. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I have really had some great epiphanies come through lately, but I definitely don't know everything about everything. It's just not, I don't feel that it's possible. But the debatable part of that is I like to err towards like 0.65 grams per pound of body weight to all the way to like 1.5. Just kind of depends on how your body responds. The biggest thing is if you're trying to put on muscle, okay, and I ask you how many pounds of muscle do you have right now, and you answer back, what? Or, I don't know. Well, then how the fuck are you going to know if you put on any size? If you toned up? What's your body fat percentage? If you have not answered those two questions right there, then you need to back the fuck up and actually do what you're supposed to do. Okay? Do what you're supposed to do first. Figure out what your baseline is. How many grams of protein do you need? Start with that. Are you looking to put on muscle? Cool. Go into like 100-calorie surplus. See if you start putting on a little weight. Work with myself. Message me. I'll tell you where to go get your body fat. You could go to a local nutrition store. Get a little printout. They do it for free. InBody scan. And you need to know your body fat percentage, because if you're looking to tone up, you want to drop your body fat percentage and like increase your muscle so that you look not as flabby, right? That's the idea. If you don't know those things, stop talking. Start with those 3 things. Get your protein right. Do your InBody scan. Figure out your muscle. Because if you don't know where you're at now, you really don't know when you'll get to where you're trying to go. Like, you see how confused that look is? That's what your mind's telling you. I want to do this, but I don't really know where I'm at. I know my body fat, and I don't want to even share it. It is horrible right now. I'll share it. You know what? I'll share it. It is pathetic. My body fat is like 25% right now. It is freaking horrible. I have been having a hard time with it lately. My muscle is up, which sucks because my body fat's up too. So, a few months ago, I had it down to 20, almost breaking in on the teens. And I started struggling again. Most of it's to do with financially. I've really hit some walls. And you know why. But my muscles, 99.75 roughly to 100. I don't think I've hit over the 100 mark right now. But it was 100. Then I ran, atrophied down a little bit. Went all the way down to 97. And then I popped back up to 99-ish. So that's good. But my body fat went up too. So that's not really good. But I know where I'm at. You know, I know where I'm at. And the reason I'm making this video is actually because I'm going into a strength phase of a program. And I'm going to be going through a powerlifting meet with a buddy and a client. So I feel that it's really important that I get my protein right so that I can get the most out of my strength gains. So that's why I'm making the video, because my protein has not been where I need it to be. So it's really important. If you guys have any questions, or if I didn't cover anything, I kind of know this is kind of just talking about different things or whatever. Maybe it's confusing. Maybe I didn't cover. I just wanted to talk, about protein, muscle building. Can you do both? Not really. Focus on one or the other. But yeah, if you have more questions, just let me know. Be stronger than your excuses. Remember to spread love, not hate. Drink your damn water. Stay on track. Hashtag Team Boo. Please go check us out on Facebook. Our group is called Healthy Living for Healthy Life. If you're looking for an online personal trainer or meal plans or anything like that, I can definitely help you out. Have a wonderful day, guys, and thanks for watching.